The Devil's Candy is the original horror film written and directed by Sean Byrne, and it follows a family of three that gets a great deal on a rural Texas farmhouse because, of course, murders took place there, and in typical horror film fashion, the house is chock full of demonic forces. Ethan Embry plays the father, who is a painter struggling against the system. He wants to do right by his family, but he also wants to stay true to himself. Shiri Appleby plays the wife, who wants to be the responsible one and make sure that they do right by their daughter. The daughter is also a very interesting character because she's taking after her father and is this metal chick that just wants to play guitar and be cool, and she's actually quite endearing. She isn't the annoying kid type that she easily could have been. So when these demonic forces come out to play, it sucks because you really feel for these characters. They're interesting, and it's kind of a fun family that you like to spend time with. You don't really want to see shit hit the fan with them. And I also didn't really know going into this what the actual horror aspects were, and was really satisfied with how it played out. I just don't want to spoil it in case anyone else doesn't really know, because what I was expecting was essentially The Shining in a farmhouse, but that isn't how it plays out. That could have been a cool movie, but what's really interesting is since we've seen so many haunted house supernatural movies, this takes that concept, that idea, and that setup, and then it plays things out in such a different manner where the demonic forces, the supernatural stuff, it affects how the characters make decisions, and we're watching how the characters play off of this stuff, which really makes for a better film-going experience. We're not just getting scenes where there's, a boo, and then you're scared. There are actual scenes in this film that could have been the finale of lesser horror films, and then you just still watch the characters continue going and experiencing horror after horror. And it is just intense by the end, because this is a short, snappy, hour, 20-minute movie that just goes. And it is just one thing after another. And it's just absolutely terrifying. Because you do care about the characters. One thing I really liked about this film, because I think horror films should have violence in them, but when it's just plain gratuitous in a way that is a disservice to the story, that's a little distracting. I think the violence in this film was handled incredibly well, especially with some of the subject matter, because I thought there was a great intercut between painting and slashing that I thought did a great job of conveying a dark scene without being totally explicit. And the horror was still there. It wasn't taken away by not actually watching every minor detail. I just really thought that this was a very well-directed film. The acting is really good. Ethan Embry, Shiri Appleby, and Pruitt Taylor-Vince do great performances. They're very good. This is just solidly done. This is a horror film that takes itself seriously. From what I know, it had a good 10 minutes shaved off of it to remove some comedic elements, which I think was good. But what I would have liked to see that they cut was some more on the correlation between the work of the devil and the arts. As an artist, I just thought that was kind of interesting, yet they kind of skimmed over some of it, just the ideas. But still, would have been cool. This is a very actually scary and violent and intense horror film that is unlike most horror films you see. It may have a tried and true concept, but the execution is absolutely unique and fresh, and it's certainly one of the best horror films of the year, one of the best horror films of recent memory. I would say the decade, even. This is really good. It's streaming on Netflix, and I hope it stays there for a while, because I consider this the new horror staple. I give The Devil's Candy a 4 out of 5. If you're a fan of horror, I absolutely suggest you check it out. And really pay attention. I watched this 3 times, because I ended up thinking I could just watch it late at night and end up falling asleep through it. And I really ended up having to really experience the whole thing, and I'm really glad I did, even actually knowing kind of how it played out, because this is a really solid film. Definitely check it out. If you made it this far, thanks for watching.